to win and learn than lose and learn. And they're right. And the Pittsburgh Steelers getting their first win of the season against the Cleveland Browns is huge. But there are very alarming issues with this team. And overall, the group is so good that the longer they push these issues out, the longer they ignore them, the more of a concern everything comes. They need to fix it right now. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackmine. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalk and subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. We are talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and a very alarming issue that needs to be addressed. Coming into the game, there were very obvious concerns. Kenny Pickett, Matt Canada, the offense. Is the running game ever going to get going? Do they have an answer for Deontay Johnson being out or Cam Hayward being out? And can the defense reach the expectations that they had coming into the season? The offense, I think we were less optimistic about. The defense proved themselves right, but unfortunately for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you cannot win every single game when your defense scores 14 points, which was more than what your offense scored. You will lose almost every single game banking on your defense trying to carry the points total. But that's where the Pittsburgh Steelers are. In this game against the Cleveland Browns, there were still major concerns. Kenny Pickett looked terrible. The offensive line looked just as good, but the running game was very hit or miss. And it kind of seemed like even those big, long runs by Najee Harris shouldn't have gone anywhere, and the ones that should have didn't. Concerning. But George Pickens looked like a stud. Calvin Austin made a really nice catch that you felt really good about, plus his kick return and his punt return abilities, still very much so there. Pat Freiermuth didn't even get a target, and the offense still had weapons, which is, I guess, a good thing. On the defensive side of the ball, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are easily the best pass rushing duo in the NFL. And somehow the Pittsburgh Steelers defense remained just as solid, possibly better, obviously better than week one. But if your expectations were very high coming into the season, they might have surpassed them with their performance against the Browns in week two. And the Browns, I mean, they didn't look terrible. Deshaun Watson still doesn't look like he's it, but overall, the Browns didn't look bad. The only people in this game that looked bad were Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada. And it's hit a point where if you're not going to address either one of those, you're just going to admit defeat. And you're just going to admit that this team is going to be mediocre and it's not going to go anywhere and a Super Bowl run isn't realistic and you're still building for the future with a team that is built to win right now. That's the most alarming part of this entire situation. The Pittsburgh Steelers are clearly a team that can go out and win. They've done it. They have the defense. They have the superstars on offense. They have the offensive line. They have the head coach and the special teams. I mean, Presley Harvin was an MVP in this game. There are zero excuses why the Pittsburgh Steelers shouldn't be good, except for their quarterback and their offensive coordinator. And they're not trying to fix either of them. In the fourth quarter of week 2 at Acrisure Stadium against the Browns, I heard "Fire Matt Canada" chants clearer and louder than any chant I have ever heard watching a Pittsburgh Steelers game. I have covered this team for 5 years, and in 5 years, I have never once heard fans louder, even with